Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Branden here with another great business to discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is David, and he's selling his advertising and AdSense business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, David, and how are you doing today?
Very well, Branden. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's nice having you on the call today. I'm excited to talk to you about this business you've created. But before we get into the, interview questions, let's go into a brief summary. So it is an advertising and AdSense business in the religion and spirituality niche, and it was created in March 2014. The average monthly revenue for the business is $29,169 and makes an average of $28,625 per month in net profits. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 47608 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing and start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, what's included in the sale are the domain and all site content and files, the social media accounts for Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. And it is worth noting that you must have a currently approved AdSense account to ensure a successful migration of this business. So David, can you tell me a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure, yeah. So my background is based primarily within an advertising agency. I worked in an agency for about 13 years. And it was during that time that I started to really notice that trends were moving towards online. And in my day-to-day job, I focused a lot on online display advertising. So with taking that experience, I decided to set up my own business that focused on creating websites and monetizing them primarily through the use of display advertising. So really that was about 4 years ago now. And since then I've bought and sold a number of websites on the marketplace. And this is probably one of the largest listings that I've had to date. And it's really a website that's monetized with display ads and really used all the experience that I built up over the years to create what is now a very robust and very large content-based website.
Okay. And then so now where does the business primarily make money from then? Is it mostly from the AdSense advertising or is it from a different ad network?
It's an interesting question and it's very timely, Branden. The website is 6 years old, and across the period of 6 years, I've used a number of different display networks to monetize the website. Started off with AdSense and then added on different ad networks and tested various combinations. And that got us to a point the website was earning very significant money each month. But more recently, I've had an ambition to get the website accepted into some of the more premium ad networks. Previously, it was monetized with AdSense and different display networks like Monumetric and different content partners and things like that. But recently I've actually made the switch to a more premium ad network, which most people will probably know as, if I say Mediavine, they would understand that that is a premium ad network. So as of the 10th of March, the website is now monetized purely with Mediavine ads. So that is quite a departure for the website. I think it's going to put it in a very good position as we move forward.
So you're saying that there's no more AdSense revenue coming into the business itself?
At the moment, the only ads are Mediavine ads. AdSense, which was a large earner for the website previously, is no longer on the site. The point I would make, Branden, is that obviously when the switch to an ad network, a new ad network takes place, there's a period of optimization that has to happen. So revenue is currently being optimized at the moment. So we're undergoing a bit of a testing phase. Obviously, with current economic adventures going on, let's just say, there's Certainly some choppy waters ahead, but yeah, I think the website's in a very good place.
Okay. And then now, so why choose this specific business model then, David? Was there something that stood out to you just staying with the advertising model that maybe offered a better opportunity than, say, doing like an Amazon Associates content business?
Yeah, I think, my background is in display advertising. So I've really focused on that as an area that I have some expertise in. And also I like the display-based model because it's very, very passive. It's very easy to put ads on a website and, rather than having to, fulfill orders or do an e-commerce type of setup, which you could do with this website. I just prefer display-based monetization. But that is actually a good point as well, Branden. And I think it's an area for great opportunity for the new owner of this website, is to look into affiliate revenue opportunities, which I think is a very big area for potential growth for the website.
Yeah, no, definitely adding monetizations just to branch out your revenue streams is always a great, safety net to have with your, any business really. Now, David, why was it that you decided wanted to go into this specific niche? Was there something that stood out to you during your early days in the advertising world that this niche, showed you maybe some great potential?
Before I started working on content-based websites, I also ran affiliate offers with paid traffic. When I was running things like Facebook ads and Google ads, I was working closely with affiliate networks, and I was promoting offers that were related to this particular niche, this category that the website is based on. And really, by running paid traffic, I started to realize that people were making very significant money in this category. That gave me the idea that when I did a bit of research, I realized there wasn't very much competition in terms of content-based websites. So back then, like 6 years ago, I decided to start writing content myself for this website. Very quickly, I started to see some returns. As those returns started to increase, I reinvested into the website and kept putting money back into content, outsourced content production, and really grew the website content and also the traffic to the website exponentially. There was a very large investment in the website content over the past 6 years. And I think currently there's under 2,000 posts on the WordPress site, which is, each of those posts would be well over 2,000 words each. So there's, a lot of content on the site, and that returns a lot of traffic to the site. So it was, a combination of things. I tested it after running paid traffic and realized that, it was just a great niche to be in. And it was something that didn't need any particular expertise. It's quite a general interest type of niche. And really, the new owner could, if they wanted to, write their own content, or like I did, they could outsource the content production.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we'll get into, some of the back end stuff on the business model in a little bit. But at this time, David, why is it you're deciding to sell this asset?
I have planned to sell this website for a number of months now, and really I've been working on developing offline business. That was the plan for the year ahead, and it still is the plan for the year ahead. So really, I've sold a number of websites with Empire Flippers over the last couple of months, and I think now is the time to pass this website on to someone else who can take it to the next level.
Okay. No, I can completely understand your reasoning behind that. And now, is there anything that you learned while you were growing this business, David, that you plan on applying to future projects or businesses down the road?
I think the key takeaway for me in developing this website was the power of content. The more content I put on this website, the more money it made. And, I think if you find something like this where you can basically, invest $1 and get like a couple of dollars back, you're going to put as many dollars into that machine as you can. And really, I found in the very early days of this that it definitely paid me well to invest in serious content production. All that work is now done. So a new owner could literally sit on this website and, publish content every now and then and enjoy the monthly revenue and the large profits. Or they could choose to go into, ramp up production and content again and really take it to the next level. I think those are the key learnings that I've taken from this.
Okay. No, that makes sense. The opportunity to produce more content and target new keywords, or maybe just gain some additional eyeballs from, information that you're providing, is always a great opportunity. Now, on the flip side of that, David, was there anything that you tried with this business and it just didn't give you the ROI that you were expecting?
In the very, very early days of the website, I started to monetize it with an ebook type of offer. And yes, it worked and it generated good revenue, but I found it to be too time intensive for my personal tastes. Now, if the new owner decided to monetize with an ebook type of offer or other affiliate offer, which I think, as I've said, would do very well, I think that, an area for big opportunity. But I think for me personally, it felt a little too time intensive, especially whenever I was working on a number of other websites.
Okay. No, that makes total sense. And then now, where does a majority of your traffic come from then? Is most of it coming from organic search, or are you currently running a few PPC ads to the site as well?
No, there's no paid traffic running to the site at all. It's all organic. I think it's 90% plus is organic search, Google traffic.
And then is the rest coming from maybe the social media profiles that you have set up?
Yeah, the Pinterest is probably the second largest driver of traffic, although saying that, it's very, very underutilized. I set up a Pinterest account in the early days of the website. Yes, there's a lot of content on that Pinterest account, but it's not something I've really focused on, yet it still sends a couple of thousand people a day to the website. I think, Ian, that you've touched on an area for big opportunity and potential growth. This category is made for Pinterest and Facebook, maybe Instagram as well. And I think a new owner, if they really want to focus on growth, they would focus on Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram in that particular order.
Okay. Now that makes sense. And then on the subject of growth, David, hypothetically speaking, if you were to keep this business, what are some of the first steps you would take to try and grow it?
Well, I would move back in period of producing content. Over the last number of months, I've literally dripped out a couple of pieces of content per month. Previous to that, I was producing, maybe 10 to 15 articles per week. It's a very significant amount of content. So if I was going to keep it, I would start to really build out more content. I've never bought links or paid for links from other websites. The site has earned those naturally, just through the quality of content that's on the website. So if I was going to keep it, I would focus on content. I'd also look into developing affiliate opportunities. Affiliate offers in this category tend to pay out around $100 per commission, which is very significant. And I know a lot of people are making very, very significant money just by focusing on the affiliate side of this business. And then finally, I would look to maybe develop an email list, which I think is something, I played about with at one point, but didn't really take very seriously. This category and this particular audience are made and actually quite enjoy receiving emails on this topic. So I think it's an area, again, that could be exploited for massive growth.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of low-hanging fruit, I can tell just from the structure of the business right now. And I'm sure any potential buyer can see the value in those opportunities to grow and capitalize on the increase in revenue. Now, David, can you describe some of the typical work that you're doing for the business on a weekly basis at this time?
At this time, very little, Branden. I'm literally logging into the back end of the WordPress website maybe once or twice a week and updating the plugins. That's about the height of it. I had ordered some content a number of months ago and it has dripped, in a scheduled way onto the website. But currently there's no new content being added. So my current workload with this website is very minimal.
Okay. And when you were producing or publishing content, you said you were using a few outsourced writers in the past?
Yeah, that's right. I found them on Upwork after a number of different forums.
Mm-hmm. And then do you have a standard set of SOPs for them to follow, or is it something that you just kind of judge off of example work that they produce for you prior to hiring them on?
So I do have like a templated article layout that I like freelancers to work to. So I would do some keyword research and then send a particular freelancer a list of keywords. And each of those keywords would have an article of around 2,000 words of content. And each article would follow a particular format that I like. So I'm happy to work with the new owner and passing that information on.
Okay. No, that's really great to hear, David. And I'm sure any potential buyers can see the value that help to transition process over to them. So that's really great. Now, on the flip side of, really great opportunities for the business, what do you feel are maybe some of the potential risks associated with this business, David?
Well, I think obviously the switch to Mediavine is in the medium to long term a very positive thing. But I think currently, as that goes through a period of optimization, the revenue will be down compared to previous months. That is obviously something that I have made a decision on, knowing fully well that this would happen. I still went ahead with it. If I was to keep the website and you were to ask me, would you still switch to Mediavine? I would still say yes, because I know in the medium to long term, it's actually going to pay more per month than the website has ever made. So I think it's important to take that view and that medium to long term view on a site that is 6 years old and has continued to grow year on year. Obviously, the current economic issues are external to this particular website, but I think it's worth taking it on board as well that a website that is monetized with display advertising may be buffeted by some of the storms ahead in terms of the broader economy. But those are all monetization issues. If I was talking about risks in relation to the traffic and I was telling you, Branden, that the traffic has declined, I would be much more worried about that in terms of the outlook for the website. The economy will come back and ad rates will increase and Mediavine will optimize this website and generate amazing revenue. I have no doubt about that. But if I was sitting here saying, oh, the traffic has declined by 50%, I wouldn't be so confident. Year on year, and even over the last, say, in the month of March, users are actually up close to 10% year on year. And that is after last year being like a year of exponential growth on the previous year. So the site is in very good health. It has survived a whole series of Google updates. It's survived lots of competition from other people who see how well it's doing. And the actual health of the website is very robust.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that as well. Just from a little bit of the digging I was doing on this business and looking at the back end stuff is, yeah, it's a great opportunity. And as you had mentioned before, you can definitely see the opportunity, especially with the traffic in the growth state that it's at as well. Now, David, are you willing to commit to a non-compete, meaning, any future projects or businesses you start, down the road, you'll stay out of this specific niche?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, perfect. And then how much support are you willing to offer potential buyers? Are you going with the typical 30 days of email and Skype support, or did you have something in addition that you would like to add on to that?
I'm happy to start a conversation around support. If we start with the traditional 30 days of support, I think that's a great starting point. What I would say, Branden, is that, if someone buys this website, they need support beyond the 30 days. I'm going to be around to help them out. And I'm very happy to take any questions just to make sure that the website continues to grow.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's really great to hear. And are you open to negotiating something like an earnout where you'll receive a large portion of the sales price up front and then smaller payments closing out the deal several months after that?
Again, I'm happy to have conversations with people. This is a large website and a large amount of money. So I'm happy to have a conversation with the right buyer in terms of upfront payments and earnout payments. What I would say is that because I'm using this money to invest in an offline business, I'm just going to be totally upfront here that I'm looking for a larger earnout. But saying that, I'm happy to discuss different payment plans and things like that.
Okay. Well, it's great to hear that you're open to the idea, and that's something that can be discussed during the negotiation period. So that's really great, David. Now, just a few more sideline questions for you. Is there anyone who inspired you while you were building this business that our listeners might like as well?
Anyone who inspired me? I think the guys over Authority Hacker I think, they're a good starting point for how to build a website. I think Fat Stacks blog as well. Give a shout out to John, and just seeing how guys, can actually take an idea and build it into something and turn it into a business that does serious money each month. I think, those guys were, certainly an inspiration during different times when, things were good and things were bad as well. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's really great. I'm sure our listeners can look those guys up and get some valuable information from them. And what advice would you give to our listeners, David, that you wish you knew when you started this business?
Just keep going. And it seems quite relevant for the current events that are happening in the world today. Just keep pushing forward. Things will go up and things will go down, but if you keep pushing forward, I started writing articles for this website, and I can remember I was making 15, 20 cents a day for putting in, like maybe 8 hours work per day. And just keep going. It will work if you really put in the effort and don't hold anything back. It'll be okay. And in fact, it can be actually very, very good. I never thought this website would get to this level in those early days, but you just have to keep going with it.
Yeah, no, definitely staying consistent, determined in your ultimate goals is something that will always pay off in the long run. Now, was there any software or tools that really helped you at the start of building or even managing this business?
I think SEMrush is a tool that, anyone who focuses on a content-based website should be familiar with or make themselves familiar with. I know there are other tools out there, but I find it very easy to use, and it's a very quick way to start to uncover lots of different content ideas, and I still use it to this day on other websites.
Yeah, no, it's a really powerful tool, especially when you're doing a little bit of reverse engineering and you're trying to figure out what your competition is ranking for. It's a very valuable tool to have in your toolbox. And then, David, what was it that drove you or motivated you while you were building this business?
I looked around forums and I looked at different blogs that other people had, and I could see how well they were doing. And I was convinced that I could do better if I just really put the effort in. So I think, again, back to this idea of consistency and effort. I have put a lot of the hard work into this website. So if someone wanted run this as a very, very passive business, they could, and just kind of reap the rewards of the effort that was put in the early days. But I think, someone could really take this and move it to the next level.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that as well. And, on the subject of the business model, why do you think it's, a really good one to get into if you're just starting in the online business world?
I think it's very passive, and I think it allows you to focus on other areas that are important. If you spend all your time fulfilling orders through like an e-commerce type of model, and you have no time to produce content or look at other ways to generate traffic, I think you're kind of missing the wood for the trees a bit. You really need to focus on generating eyeballs and generating traffic to your site. That's what you really should focus on. And display advertising models allow you to do that. You literally put the code on the website and you get paid every month. It's that simple.
Yeah, I completely agree with you again. And it's, kind of one of those business models that's really great for those that are trying to stay away from a location dependent area and really be able to travel and work from the comfort of, anywhere they have a Wi-Fi connection, I guess, essentially. And now putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, David, why do you think that this business is worth buying?
Because I think there's so much untapped potential in it. I think the ideal buyer for this business would be someone who can spend, maybe a few hours per week on it, either producing content themselves or managing a couple of different writers who could produce content. I think that is really someone who could take this business to the next level. I think there are opportunities to really explore different opportunities and really look at different revenue models. And I think it's quite a fun business as well. It generates huge amounts of money every month, and it's quite passive. It is a very lifestyle friendly business. I continue to earn great money from this website, but I'm not chained to a desk. So if someone was looking for that kind of opportunity, I think this website would really be for them.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that. And that's one great thing about, like I had said earlier, having a business that doesn't tie you down, specific location is always going to be a great opportunity to really enjoy life and enjoy what you're doing at the same time. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up our call, David. Was there anything else that you'd like to share that I might have missed?
No, I think that's everything. As I said, Branden, I'm happy to have a conversation with any serious buyer. My firm belief after selling a number of websites with Empire Flippers is that, only a good deal if it's a good deal for the buyer and the seller. So I'm certainly committed to making sure that whoever buys this website continues to make a success of it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And that's something that we've always stood by as well, making sure that both parties are happy with the deal. And, I'm sure any potential buyer that's listening to this call or maybe even doing their due diligence on this asset can, really see the opportunity and pushing this business to the next level. So that's great. So I really appreciate the call, David. Looking forward to seeing this listing getting sold for you here in the near future. And, thanks again.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Thank you, David. And all right, everyone. So thanks for listening. To learn more and to see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 47608. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.